So ultimately, I think we make one more big push up on the Bitcoin dominance chart to that very high confluence area, anywhere from 60 to 65%. So if you were to draw a little box out, somewhere in this zone, right, is where I think we have very high confluence for a bounce. But I do think we have one more big push up into this level. And when we do get that rejection, something akin to this, that is when meme coin season starts and we see that really euphoric pump with our meme coin bags. So up on my screen here is the Bitcoin dominance chart on TradingView. I'm going to start this video off by kind of giving a very brief rundown as to what the Bitcoin dominance chart is, how to chart it, and how it relates to meme coins and altcoins. And then I'll be going into kind of my analysis and how I interpret the Bitcoin dominance chart with where it's currently at. So very fundamentally, the Bitcoin dominance chart is a way to calculate Bitcoin dominance, obviously. Bitcoin dominance basically means the percentage of market cap that Bitcoin encapsulates when compared to the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem, right? So let's say the current cryptocurrency ecosystem is at 2.3 trillion market cap. That means every cryptocurrency combined is equivalent to 2.3 trillion market cap. And Bitcoin is sitting at a $1.3 trillion market cap. That would mean Bitcoin dominance would be at 50%, right? That means Bitcoin dominates 50% of the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem, right? So basically when, these bars or, lines are going up, that means Bitcoin is encapsulating more and more. It's dominating the market, taking more volume and liquidity. When it goes down, it means altcoins are taking more liquidity and volume, right? So, and in altcoin season, I'll actually pose a very easy question. Where would the last two altcoin seasons be on this chart, right? Very simply, they're here and here, right? These are the 2 points that stick out like a sore thumb where we see the Bitcoin dominance chart just absolutely tank. This means money in the cryptocurrency market is moving out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. So this doesn't mean Bitcoin is going down. I actually believe Bitcoin probably was going up during this time period, but more volume is flowing into altcoins than is into Bitcoin. Same with over here. So, I'll actually throw that up, right, so you guys can see it. This isn't me drawing a box just looking at price action. This is widely accepted as last season's altcoin season, right, from last cycle. So you can see very clearly, it's very distinct, very obvious when you understand how the Bitcoin dominance mechanics work. But yeah, so that was previous altcoin season. Here is the start of our current bull cycle. So this was when we bottomed out on Bitcoin back, right after the FTX collapse. And we can see where's the altcoin, when has the altcoin season, happened this bull cycle? Well, it hasn't, right? There has not been any sort of weakness on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which would tell me very obviously, we have not had the meme coin or altcoin season yet. When we do have meme coin or altcoin season, we'd see price action on this chart look similar to this, a sharp fall off. And right now it seems like we're just slowly trickling up. Bitcoin is extremely strong. Altcoins have been strong as well, and that's something to note as well, right? I've heard a lot of people say, well, altcoin season's already happened. Look at what Pepe's done. Look at what WIF has done. And sure, they've been very strong, right? They've produced very strong outcomes in ROIs that topped out kind of 3 months ago. But not at any point have they consistently or on a long-term macro scale outperformed Bitcoin, not a single time this cycle. And every cycle we've had that altcoin season, which I think we will too, right? And I talked about in my last video how I think altcoin season always comes after Bitcoin breaks the all-time high. Obviously, that shows a lot of strength in Bitcoin, but when we do get that break of all-time high, I think Bitcoin will enter kind of price discovery mode where retail will come in. You'll see Bitcoin posted on all the major news outlets, and everyone will be kind of talking about it because, Bitcoin just made a run up to 85K, broke its previous cycle high. And, retail wants to invest in higher risk, higher reward coins like Pepe, like XRP, like Bobo, like Dodo, etc. Meme coins and altcoins. So I think it's coming. I think it could be coming very soon. I think a lot of it does depend on Bitcoin. We do need to see Bitcoin break its all-time high for that to kind of happen. The other thing I want to talk about that's pretty interesting is where we could see a bounce. So the first thing, when I zoom out of this chart, right, the very first thing that really stands out to me is that we're in a very strong downtrend. Obviously up here with Bitcoin being at almost 100% dominance, this was before any of the rise or popularity of altcoins. So we can actually kind of see the rise of Ethereum, right, which happened right around this point in the chart. Ethereum being one of the first really big altcoins. We can see kind of how once Ethereum and these other blockchains were created, how the Bitcoin dominance chart just completely tanked. And I think that's a theme that we're going to continue to see across multiple bull cycles, is where Bitcoin dominance will continue to downtrend. And that's because as the cryptocurrency ecosystem evolves, that ecosystem is going to become more and more diverse with each bull cycle, because each bull cycle we've seen more and more cryptocurrencies be birthed, right? And I think that's very important. I know a lot of Bitcoin maxis that are very anti-altcoins and Bitcoin is king. And I do agree that Bitcoin is the gold standard. It is king, right? For cryptocurrency to do well long term, we need Bitcoin to do well. But that doesn't mean we don't need altcoins. I think Bitcoin is very good for what it does, which is a store of value. But there are other things, other functionalities where Bitcoin falls short. And that's where you see these coins like XRP and Ethereum and Solana, etc., kind of fill those gaps. And so for me, for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole to kind of really become wide-scale adopted, you talk about really long-term replacing traditional finance, we need to have altcoins to fill those holes. So I think what we're going to see is a continuation of this downside where more and more altcoins get more and more strength in terms of cryptocurrency market cap dominance, which is why I would draw kind of a line in the sand up here, as I think it's extremely, extremely unlikely that we see Bitcoin dominance get above 73%. This was the last high from last cycle on Bitcoin dominance. I don't think Bitcoin dominance will go above that for that same theory that I just mentioned, which is that each cycle I think we'll see less and less strength in Bitcoin in terms of market cap dominance. So yeah, I don't think it'll break this blue line. We've obviously made already a big move up. We're nearing all-time highs, which is where, like I said, historically we've always seen that altcoin season occur. From a technical standpoint as well, we can look at two things that are my favorite kind of indicators to look at, which is the value area and the 618 Fibonacci. I've taken countless trades off of this combination right here. We obviously see a lot of price action up here in chop. But yeah, there was not a lot of resistance through this move up. And I think we're kind of finally nearing good price action with the value area high and the 618 Fibonacci, where we could see a strong rejection at 60%. And when we see that strong rejection, obviously that is when altcoins are going to be flooded with volume and liquidity. So from a TA perspective, I think we're very close. It kind of lines up with my macro thesis that Bitcoin has had tons of liquidations to the short side. And so I think we're gearing up to finally break up, have Bitcoin enter that price discovery mode, and that lines up perfectly with that 618 Fibonacci. If I was to really take a guess, I'd say, we're going to get a big breakout on Bitcoin here in the next couple months. And when we do, we're going to see Bitcoin dominance shoot up as Bitcoin breaks out of its all-time high, but that volume will very soon after flow into altcoins, and we'll see that rejection, that sharp move down, and those plays like Pepe, Whiff, Brett, etc., will retain most of that volume and absolutely explode into a generational sized meme coin season. So ultimately, I think we make one more big push up on the Bitcoin dominance chart to that very high confluence area, anywhere from 60 to 65%. So if you were to draw a little box out, somewhere in this zone, right, is where I think we have very high confluence for a bounce. But I do think we have one more big push up into this level. And when we do get that rejection, something akin to this, that is when meme coin season starts and we see that really euphoric pump with our meme coin bags. If you like this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Helps my channel out a lot. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.